working ecosystems. We'll look at living and non-living things in those ecosystems and how they work together to keep everything balanced. During today's lesson, look out for these vocabulary words: algae, coral reef, desert, nocturnal, and urban. And, soon you'll know, these main ideas. How an ecosystem might look in the water. How an ecosystem might look on land. And how urban ecosystems are defined. Everyone ready to go? Okay, let's go see where ecosystems are found. Hold your breath. We're going underwater. Yep, that's right. Many ecosystems can be found under the sea. We won't see any little mermaids, but look at these cool fish. They're swimming around a coral reef. Have you heard of a coral reef? I have a definition of coral reef for you. A coral reef is an underwater ridge or mound made by colonies of tiny coral animals. Do you know what's living in this coral reef ecosystem? Yep, fish are living. What about the coral? It's living too. Coral comes in many different colors. I see yellow, red, and purple. What colors do you see? The corals in a coral reef come from the different algae and tiny sea animals that live in the coral itself. If I remember correctly, algae is one of our vocabulary words. Let's see if Webster has the definition of algae for us. Let's call him. Webster!
Webster here. I can give you that definition. Algae are plant-like organisms that live in water and get their energy from the sun. Algae are a very important part of most water ecosystems because they are the main producers.
Thanks, Webster. Can you see the sunlight shining on the algae? Coral reefs only form in shallow waters because they need sunlight to grow. Sunlight also helps some algae to produce food for the polyps, which are coral animals that make up the coral reef. The sunlight is essential to the living organisms. See how everything works together? This fish is having a bite to eat. Coral reefs provide food and shelter for the many different organisms that live in the ocean, like this fish. In fact, coral reefs are home to more than 4,000 different species of fish. We looked at the living part of a coral reef. Let's see what's not living. Do you have any ideas? Is the water living? What about the rocks? How about the sand at the bottom of the sea? And that sunlight we talked about earlier? Nope. None of those are living things. But the living and non-living things depend on each other. So, now you know. A coral reef is a water ecosystem found in warm, shallow ocean waters.